Hello and thanks for joining us on Nationwide today on the network service of the NTA. I'm Elizabeth Omori with the news. The nation's armed forces and other security services have been directed to collectively do much more towards restoring peace and order in all parts of the country. President Muhammadu Buhari, who gave the directive, maintains that his administration would not rest until the nation achieved the desired security and stability for a sustainable future. This was at a ceremonial parade commemorating the 58th anniversary of the Nigerian Air Force in Kano. From West State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
With its motto, willing, able and ready, the Nigerian Air Force has been transformed into a resilient and formidable service that is positioned to respond effectively to both contemporary and dynamic national security challenges. President Muhammadu Buhari is satisfied that his administration has demonstrated the required political will and leadership by committing adequate resources towards capacity building and reprofessionalization of the armed forces. The Nigerian Air Force in particular, he said, has been able to meet its constitutional responsibilities, thereby justifying the government's enormous support in the last 7 years.
I am glad to reiterate that these huge investments in the capacity development of the Nigerian Air Force have helped to turn the tide against terrorists and other violent non-state actors in our nation. In furtherance of our drive to continue to modernize the armed forces, we will continue to do more to support the Air Force.
Sustaining a service like the Nigerian Air Force that derives its potency from technological assets is clearly a capital-intensive responsibility. The President, however, promised that apart from the new platforms already acquired, including the A-29 Super Tucano aircrafts, some modern helicopter gunships are soon to be procured, amongst others, to enable the Nigerian Air Force man the nation's airspace more effectively.
Rest assured that as a government, we are willing to do even more to ensure the provision of the requisite support and encouragement to overcome various security challenges. Your sacrifices are well appreciated by Nigerians, and this government will not rest until peace and stability are fully restored to our nation. I therefore urge you all to remain committed, steadfast, and resolute as we forge ahead to achieving a secure, peaceful, and more prosperous Nigeria.
And as the Nigerian Air Force celebrates 58 years of existence, the President, who undertook a guided tour of the research and development exhibition stands, congratulated the Chief of the Air Staff, officers, airmen and airwomen for their commitment in supporting the government's defense and security policies. Most importantly, President Muhammadu Buhari expressed formal appreciation to the Nigerian Air Force for demonstrating high level of discipline, loyalty to the Constitution and support of democratic values, saying its sacrificial service to Nigeria shall not be in vain. From the Nigerian Air Force base in Kano, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
In ultra power generation, federal government is working on the evacuation of power being generated from the Gorara hydroelectric power plant as construction of transmission line to connect with the substation progresses. Joshua Ojito tells us more.
30 megawatts Gurara Hydro Dam in Kaduna State completed and power ready for evacuation. Work on the transmission line from the hydro dam to Kaduna substation in Mando for evacuation in progress. With the mandate on the contractor to deliver the project this year, the wrap-up generation to increase distribution at the national grid approaches. Minister of Power Abubakar Aliyu keeps a close watch on the project.
We are building a 330 transmission line from Kudenden to Mando. We have paid compensation to almost all the people here. The project is almost 80% completed, and the contractor has assured us that he is going to finish it before the end of this year.
There is also the transmission line being constructed to link the two 15 megawatts thermal plants under construction in Kaduna. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Now to oil and gas, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority says it is drafting 6 regulations on midstream and downstream operations to provide clarity, improve business processes and ease of doing business in the sector. The authority's chief executive, Farouk Ahmed, revealed this at a meeting with members of the Independent Petroleum Producers Group in Abuja. The regulations include gas pricing, environmental management plan, environmental radiation fund, decommissioning and abandonment, gas infrastructure fund, and natural gas pipeline tariff. Independent Petroleum Producers Group Chairman Abdulrazak Isa is on a spot notes that the group is made up of indigenous exploration and production companies with a vision to promote development of the Nigerian petroleum industry. Away from oil and gas, Nigeria's partner, the Korea Inter-Corporation Agency, KOICA, has committed $13 million in the development of the second phase of e-government project. Chimdima Undubisi reports that the two countries signed an agreement to that effect in August 2021.
Before, we do carry price from one office to another. But right now, you can equally scan through your phone and send the whatever, either invitation or letter, through your computer, just right on your table here.
These are some of the gains of e-governance, a system that utilizes information and communication technology (ICT) to improve quality and cost effectiveness of public service delivery, as well as drive transparency in governance. Nigeria and the Korean Inter-Cooperation Agency (KOICA) first entered an agreement to develop Nigeria's e-government in 2013, and by 2018, more than 1,400 civil servants were trained in the use of ICT. That's not all. KOICA also handed over a fully equipped e-government training center to the Nigerian government. In view of recorded successes, second phase of the collaboration became necessary.
To enhance the competency for e-government services through capacity building programs, to create increased access for national identification number enrollment through the establishment of additional national identification number enrollment centers.
Every 2 years, the UN survey e-government maturity level of each country. Now in Nigeria is the ranking is 141.
The second phase tagged building foundations towards digital governance in Nigeria, with promises of boundless impact on the digital transformation agenda and national development, will run for 5 years. In Abuja, Chimdima Undubisi, NTA News.
Now let's shift our attention to health to realize the promise of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, which aims to fight for the rights of women, including sexual and reproductive health. There's a need to invest in quality healthcare and education for women. This, medical experts say, will help end obstetric fistula by 2030. This report examines risk factors, implications, and management of the condition. Millions like her face the same devastating childbirth injury, obstetric fistula. It is a hole in the birth canal caused by protracted labor in the absence of a timely medical care.
What happens when labor is obstructed is that the pressure of the head of the baby presses on the bladder, and this results in poor blood supply to that area. They are not biologically fully developed. Their pelvis is not fully developed for the process of labor.
The condition, if left untreated, can lead to infection, infertility, and sometimes death. 2021 UNICEF data on obstetric fistula reveal that Nigerian women currently living with the condition range from 400,000 to 800, and annually an additional 50,000 to 100,000 new cases occur in the country. From these figures, many do not have access to health care, and this has kept the prevalence.
What a girl may not get herself throughout her life comes with trauma. We can actually do a lot as mothers to educate our children to the harm of getting pregnant too early.
Deep in conversation on obstetric fistula, caregivers are advocating strengthening of primary healthcare centers across the country through provision of medical equipment, recruitment of qualified midwives, and stringent laws against early marriage. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News. And to discuss more on the condition, obstetric fistula, is Dr. Benedict Ekaidem, consultant obstetrics gynecologist. He's also a gynecologist on reproductive health as well as medicine. Thank you so much for joining us on the news, Doc.
Thanks for having me.
All right, from that report, it is obvious that treatment is a challenge, considering the fact that it has to be surgery, which is quite expensive. Now, for a woman in the rural area, how do we address this issue? Treatment is an issue.
Thank you. Like it's been rightly introduced, obstetric fistula is a challenge globally, and we find that the problem is even much worse, in low-income countries in the developing world like ours. Like it's been said, it's a situation where after childbirth, there's abnormal communication, between the surrounding organs and the birth canal of the woman. So you tend to have certain products that should not pass through the birth canal, start passing through, like urine, feces. So it's a serious challenge, and can lead to psychosocial and other consequences. The fact of it is obstetric fistula is a situation where there is ample opportunity to deal with it, and most of the time, like we always say, prevention is better than cure. It actually should start with the prevention. And of course, it is the risk factors are clear. Like was introduced, is a problem where the baby that's trying to go past the birth canal cannot go past because the birth canal is either small, and what really needs to happen is for that situation to be relieved by operative intervention. But more often than not, you find this delay, in getting intervention, sometimes due to ignorance or sometimes due to poor access to healthcare. So the way to actually prevent these is to start first with trying to prevent unwanted pregnancies. In Nigeria, it's been found out that this problem is a bit more, in women, who get pregnant in teenage age. They're much younger.
Women get pregnant.
Yes, they get pregnant, but when they are too young, their bodies are not well developed to take care of that. We're still struggling in Nigeria with the issue of, having very young women, get married and all of that. So that could lead to that. So if we can prevent, women, from getting unwanted pregnancies, especially at a very young age, you can actually prevent this complication. And then, if you can actually, because it can happen even in women who are mature, enough, for childbearing. But if you can actually intervene Because the problem, like was introduced by the doctor, was that you have the baby stay in there for a very long time. Prolonged obstructed labor. So if you can relieve that obstruction, you can prevent, this problem.
All right. New cases are recorded annually, every year. Of course, women get pregnant and expected to have their babies, but having midwives in our primary healthcare centers is another challenge. Why do we have shortage?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, WHO says we have 900,000 midwives across.
Yeah, absolutely. There is shortage, grossly, manpower in the healthcare sector, and this is even complicated much more by the problem of the brain drain. Recently, you're having loads of professionals, nurses, midwives, doctors, going abroad for so-called greener pastures. So this really has gone ahead to further, cripple the health system, such that the ratio of the patients to health attendants, it's far reduced, far below what the World Health and United Nations recommend if we are to meet with goal 3 of the Sustainable Development Goals. So a lot more needs to happen in this area. There have been lots of policies, really, since because this fistula challenge is a global challenge, and there has been concerted efforts, globally to deal with this problem. But in Nigeria there have been policies, but the problem is it still falls short of what is expected to be able, to meet this problem significantly in the board. So we believe that beyond just having the policies, there should be a lot more done in the area of implementation of these policies. We have a total of, in Nigeria as of today, about 12 fistula care centers, and these fistula care centers typically would treat averagely, say, maybe a little less than 4,000 to 5,000 cases a year, and if you find out that you're having up to 50,000 30 to 50,000 new cases. You find that falls short. So there will be a lot of backlog. This is even removing those ones that you have being prevalent in the environment. So a lot more needs to be done.
Obviously, 12 centers not enough. But quickly, let's talk about the psychological impact of this condition on women.
It's unimaginable. It's such a shame, where you have a situation where a woman is going through all of what she goes through because she's going to give birth. These women get isolated, ostracized, and and they are not empowered. Poverty, and some of them go into depression, and some of them actually end up losing their lives from complications of infection. So a lot more needs to be done, especially on a day like this where the world's attention is on prevention of obstetric fistula.
All right, Dr. Benedict, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on the news today. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're watching Nationwide on NTA, and don't forget you can follow us on our website at nta.ng/live. And it's time to pause here as we join Michael in Lagos for more reports. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Elizabeth. Prelude to the deadline given by the Lagos State government restricting the operations of commercial motorcycles in 6 local government areas, the General Assembly of Arewa community in the state has thrown its weight behind the move, describing it as strategic in not only restoring sanity in the metropolis, but checking infiltration of criminal elements from neighboring countries.
At least
Sizable percentage of commercial motorcyclists within the Lagos metropolis are connected or rooted with the Arewa community. But in its respect for the law of the land and promoting peaceful coexistence, the group believes the ban is necessary. The Secretary General of the Lagos State Arewa community, who read the communique issued at the end of its General Assembly meeting, enjoined all members to comply with the provisions of the law of Lagos State, as the goal is to fish out those perpetrating crimes and exonerate members from unnecessary misconceptions.
We condemn in totality the activities of all criminal elements who are mostly foreigners from the Nigerian Republic, Chad, Cameroon, and other neighboring countries, who have infiltrated the ranks of those genuine riders, thereby perpetrating all forms of crime in Lagos State and are constituting serious threats to the life and security of life and property of the nations. We are calling on all security agents to identify and arrest all those criminal elements masquerading as Okada riders.
While appealing to the Nigeria Immigration Service to step up its actions along the borderline in checking the influx of those elements coming into the country without genuine intention, the Arewa community in Lagos promised to collaborate with government agencies in enforcing the law.
We are calling on all well-meaning Arewa community members.
The Arewa community made a renewed commitment to speed up data capturing of members for proper documentation. Harnessing and utilizing every positive aspect of Nigeria's rich cultural heritage will foster peace and unity and assist in tackling the challenges of insecurity. Experts highlighted this at a symposium organized by Radio, Television, Theatre and Arts Workers of Nigeria, Lagos State Council, in commemoration of this year's World Cultural Day. Dana Jale reports.
Among unique features Nigeria is known for is a diverse and beautiful cultural heritage. From various food delicacies to languages and cultural dances stand out.
Culture is what we should not forget. We need to let our youths that are coming to know that culture is not a thing of the past.
We can also go to all those primary schools, secondary schools, and university. We tell them much about culture.
Banditry is never a culture of Nigeria. Ritual killing is never a culture of Nigeria. And some other decadencies that we have now, because we have neglected the morals, the value, the respect our culture have.
When there is dialogue and engagement of cultures, then there will be better cohesion for cultural understanding and emancipation for our cognitive thoughts as a nation.
It's all about unity in diversity.
This symposium is therefore aimed at sensitizing the public on the importance of promoting Nigeria's cultural heritage from the grassroots and ensuring its preservation for future generations.
The culture that preach peace, the culture that we took over from our parents, we should use it to correct the ill in the society.
For radio, television, Theatre and Arts Workers Union of Nigeria, (TAO), promotion of the nation's culture and moral values is a collective responsibility and should be given top priority.
Our culture is our identity. Our culture is who we are. And through culture, we can promote good values.
The event also witnessed a roadwork by members of the union and sister agencies. The theme of the program is Cultural Diversity for Dialogue and Development, Unity in Diversity. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Makodi, the food basket of the nation, is our first port of call after this break. But do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates.
Good to have you join us in Makudi. The primary elections for the Federal House of Representatives and State House of Assembly seats for the People's Democratic Party in Borno State have been held under a peaceful and transparent atmosphere, with candidates emerging for various positions. Elias Itia brings us some results from the primary elections.
The PDP primary election for Makudi Guma Federal Constituency seat saw the incumbent Benjamin Jalu sweeping all the 6
2 delegate votes, leaving the 2 other aspirants with no vote, as declared by the returning officer, Dr. Teseki. For the party's primaries for the Makurdi South State constituency, Dixon Igbe defeated the incumbent Jewasa Andoka by 10 votes to 9 to emerge as candidate for the state assembly seat. Martins has won this party's candidature for the Makurdi North State constituency with 9 votes, defeating his closest opponent, Musute Audu, who polled 4 votes.
I'm indeed happy, but I know it's a call to duty again. But I pray God will give me the grace to represent them adequately as I've always done. And the victory for me, I think the victory for equity, justice and fairness. That is what I'm giving the victory.
This victory today, I attribute that the glory to God Almighty and also to my party.
This is an era of revolution. People are tired of old parts. They need to try fresh persons.
Governor Samuel Otom appreciated the peaceful and transparent conduct of the PDP primaries.
I want to congratulate you all, appreciate the media, appreciate the security agencies for ensuring peace and security in a short and fair process.
Primaries for the other elective positions are to be held on subsequent dates. In Makurdi, Elias, ATF, NT News.
More than 100 farmers in Benue State have received agro inputs to support their farming activities and improve their livelihood. National Program Coordinator Value Chain Development Program, Dr. Fatima Aliu, who flagged off the program, assures of its continuous support with extension services and monitoring to ensure better yields at harvest. Ashezi Gopep reports.
The Value Chain Development Program, VCDP, which is a federal government project, aims at improving income and food security of poor rural households engaged in production, processing and marketing of rice and cassava on a sustainable basis. The National Procurement Officer Baba Yakubu, who stood in for the National Program Coordinator, Dr. Fatima Aliu, say the project is meant to support poor farmers to sustain production as well as enhance food security and accelerate farmers' recovery from the negative impact of the pandemic.
The program has, gone ahead to identify these poor rural farmers that have been affected by COVID-19.
The challenge is also yours. I do not see any power here who, knowing the responsibility and expectation very well, will take its facilities and hold to sell in the open market.
This input you are seeing, they are of quality, they have been tested, the seeds, they have undergone the viability test.
Beneficiaries expressed delight over the gesture.
Without this, but I've been doing it. They come supported me, and I think I will do it better than what I've been doing before.
This makes the farmers rich. It boosts the farmers. With this, we believe that we are alive. Without food, you can't make it well in life.
The 113 farmers, with 60% mostly women and youth, are joined from 7 local government areas of Benue State. In Makurdi, Ashezi Gopep, NTA News.
And that's our package from Makurdi. It's back to Elizabeth in Abuja for more on NTA Nationwide.
Thank you so much, Susan. The General Secretary of the Non-Academics Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, NASU, Peters Adeyemi says the federal government has commenced payment of NASU members, stating arrears of the consequential adjustment of the national minimum wage, though not all members have received the payment so far. Adeyemi stated that no other financial commitment made to the unions has been actionized except the consequential adjustment of the minimum wage, which is not enough for the striking workers to suspend the ongoing industrial action, as there are 6 outstanding items yet to be acted upon. He stated further that NASU cannot take a unilateral decision to suspend a strike that is being prosecuted under the auspices of the Joint Action Committee of both NASU and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU. However, the union will be meeting on Tuesday in Abuja to consult with its members on the state of the strike. Engaging communities in early warning systems is crucial to saving lives, reducing damages, and protecting the environment from disaster events. 2022 Global Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction focuses on community inputs in implementing early warnings. Onenge Fineface tells us more.
On March 18, 2015, 187 member states at the United Nations World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction in Sendai, Japan, adopted what is now commonly known as the Sendai Framework to achieve substantial reduction of disaster risks and losses in lives, livelihoods, and health over the next 15 years. The framework has 7 global targets, including Target G, to substantially increase the availability of and access to multi-hazard early warning systems and disaster risk information by 2030.
Why does an individual take a decision to remain in a coastal region where there is anticipated storm surge, for example? So there are a lot of social and cultural considerations. I think there's a need for greater investment.
We have ongoing disasters that we have to deal with, and over time, this ongoing disaster overtake preparedness and risk reduction activity.
This conference at the Global Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction 2022 is taking stock of the situation with a view to reaching exposed and vulnerable populations, especially community in the African region. Disasters are set to strike at unprecedented rates. The conference therefore marks a time for increased global action to ensure that no one and no region is left behind. In Bali, Indonesia, Onenge Fineface, NT News.
Time to head to Maiduguri, where Abubakar is standing by with some reports for us on Nationwide today. Nice to see you, Abubakar.
It's always nice to see you, Elizabeth, and thank you for joining us. The wife of Borno State Governor and the founder Multi-Aid Charity Initiative, Dr. Falmata Babagana Umara Zulum, has organized a one-day sensitization workshop on strengthening women's political participation and decision-making towards economic development of the state. The event took place at the multipurpose hall of Government House, Maiduguri. Memuna Garba completes the story.
Dr. Falmata Babagana Umara Zulum said the event was a critical component of women emancipation, being an important sensitization workshop that brings together various stakeholders to promote women's rights, welfare, well-being and full participation in governance that will pave the way for women to partake actively in decision-making at all levels. She described the workshop as timely, saying women constitute more than half of the country's population, hence they have the right and powers to vote and be voted, having attained 18 years of age. Women in Borno State, she said, have over the years proved their capabilities in handling both elective and appointed positions in the state, and for this reason, there is a need to look inward, particularly the sharing formula.
Women deserve to be celebrated for their extraordinary contributions to society. Remarkable triumph and unmatched fearlessness inspired gender inequalities across all sectors, women will continue to strive and beat the odds.
Dr. Falmata believed that the workshop will not only strengthen women participation in politics, but will also redefine the concept of all-inclusive government. She called on women in the state to participate actively in the forthcoming elections in all its ramifications to prove that they have the numbers that can make the difference during any election. Former Commissioner of Women Affairs and Social Development Zoe Gambo spoke extensively on strengthening women's political participation, stressing the need to create awareness and sensitize women on gender equality. Advisor to the state governor Hajia Inna Galadima called on women to be united. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
Let's talk security now. As part of effort to fortify and strengthen security around Malam Faturi Axis, Force Commander Multinational Joint Task Force Major General Abdul Khalifa Ibrahim has visited Malam Faturi, where he met with all officers of the base and Chadian contingents for Operation Lake Sanity. Maimuna Garba reports that the visit is to further re-strategize to ultimately rout the insurgents from the general area.
The meeting was aimed at appraising the operations so far and to enhance preparations for the next decisive stage. Force Commander Multinational Joint Task Force Major General Abdul Khalifa Ibrahim had, while praising the commitment of the troops, reminded them that the task is not over yet, as the criminal Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists still remain active, hence the need to remain focused and alert. Reviewing the operation so far, the Force Commander disclosed that over 30 encounters have been recorded, with the criminals being neutralized and equipment destroyed, while some recovered. He noted an increasing dependence on improvised explosive devices by the desperate criminals, saying necessary countermeasures were preferred. General Ibrahim further said about 4 IED making factories were destroyed in the course of the operations and commended the decisive role of the air component of the MNJTF and Operation Hadinkai for the remarkable role played in taking out several camps and commanders, latest among whom is Abu Ibrahim, an ISWAP leader in the Lake Chad Tumbumas. He's promised more robust and aggressive offensives against the terrorists to clear the Lake Chad general area. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
If you're just joining us, you're on to Nationwide on Africa's window to the world, the Nigerian Television Authority. Let us at this point take another commercial break, but Obihi in our Benin Network Center will be back with more reports for us shortly.
Welcome to NTA Benin Network Center. The committee assigned by the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party to conduct the senatorial primary elections in Edo State has assured aspirants and party members of a level playing ground. The committee's chairman, Samuel Obiora, gave the assurance while briefing journalists at the party secretariat in Benin. Ivie Oyakiri reports.
The committee, led by its chairman, Samuel Obiora, made it clear to journalists that its mission is simple: to conduct a free, fair and transparent primaries devoid of rancor.
We are here for the purpose of the conduction of the primary election to elect our candidate in the upcoming general election. And we will be fully coordinated by the National Working Committee of our party.
While assuring the committee of the cooperation of party members to make their work easy, the PDP chairman in the state, Tony Azegbemi, appealed to party faithful to conduct themselves peacefully at the venues of the primaries.
They are ready or willing to conduct the freest
The primaries are ongoing in 3 senatorial districts of the state. In Benin, Ivie Uyahiri, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Oba of Benin, Ewai II, has asked politicians not to undermine the sensitivity of Nigerians, even as they go about their political ambitions, noting that what should be paramount in their minds is the progress of Nigeria and Nigerians. Obayawari II stated this when he granted audience to the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who was on a courtesy visit as part of his political ambition. Goodluck Enaine reports.
Oba Ewaye, who described Nigeria as a great nation, said the throne is non-partisan but will always pray for a good outcome for anyone chosen by the gods. He urged politicians not to see the contest as a do-or-die affair, but rather an opportunity to sell themselves to the people. He wished the visitor well and urged him not to deviate from promises made to Nigerians.
We take into account, we will take a rule, party, to guide us the rule leader. They will help us look at the conflict. They will take care of the number of activities.
National leader of the All Progressive Congress, Alhaji Bola Tinubu, while thanking the Oba for his fatherly role in ensuring the unity of the country, said he is in the palace to seek his blessings and prayers to enable him succeed in his ambition. Alhaji Tinubu also held a town hall meeting with the APC delegates in Benin. Goodluck Enaine continues.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Elizabeth in Abuja. Thank you so much, Obey, and nice to see you. In continuation of reaching out to APC delegates, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was in Birnin Kebbi, the Kebbi state capital, to rub minds with them ahead of the forthcoming party primaries nationwide. Husman Abdullahi Shehu reports.
It was a closed-door meeting between the Vice President, the APC Kebbi State delegates, and the other party stakeholders at Presidential Banquet Hall in Birnin Kebbi. This engagement is part of the nationwide consultation with the party leaders and delegates ahead of the party's primaries. The Vice President spoke on the outcome of the meeting.
I'm here for a meeting with the national delegates of our great party, the APC, preparatory to the primaries, which, as you know, will take place at the end of the month. So we'll be here discussing important national issues, the economy, security, education, healthcare, and all of the concerns that we have as a party, the concerns we have as a government, and the concerns that we have as a people. So it's been a very fruitful engagement. Thank you.
In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
In consultations, All Progressives Congress presidential aspirant and the party's national leader Bola Ahmed Tinubu has assured Nigerians that he will wholeheartedly commit himself to the growth and prosperity of the nation if elected president in 2023. Tinubu gave the assurance during an engagement with APC delegates and other critical stakeholders in Yobe State, soliciting their mandate ahead of the APC's presidential primary election. Yunus Sulaiman reports.
APC national leader and presidential aspirant Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the third presidential hopeful to visit Yobe State, considered as one of the strategic strongholds of the ruling party in the country.
I'm even happy that you landed on our airports. You have seen yourself the modest achievement that happened tonight. It's a homecoming. The excellence, but you don't need to come to Yobe for campaigns.
Addressing the 228 APC delegates of the state, Tinubu informs them that he was in the state to seek for their votes in the upcoming presidential primary election to pave way for him to secure the presidential ticket on the platform of APC in 2023. He says Yobe State, which is endowed with vast arable land suitable for agricultural activities, in addition to international cargo airport, needs a president like him to unlock and realize its full potentials to contribute meaningfully to the development of the country.
I will encourage this industry processing zone for Yobe.
Aspirant who equally speaks on national issues bordering on security, job creation, agriculture, education, and economy, among others, assures Nigerians of better days ahead. As a mark of respect, Tinubu's team also paid homage to the Emir of Damaturu, Alhaji Shehu Hashimi II Ibn Alamin El-Kanemi, to seek for his royal blessing on his presidential ambition. NTA News.
Also, a presidential aspirant in the ruling All Progressives Congress APC and Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi has asked party delegates from Katsina State to support his ambition of becoming APC flag bearer in the 2023 presidential election. He told the delegates that if given the mandate, he would work towards unity for a progressive Nigeria. Awal Halu reports.
The presidential aspirant of the All Progressives Congress APC and Governor of Ekiti State Kayode Fayemi is in Katsina to consult APC delegates who will be involved in the process of selecting the flag bearer of the party in the forthcoming general elections. Governor Fayemi, who spoke on the contributions he has given for the development of the party at various levels, urged for understanding and support from the delegates. He promised to use his experience to promote unity and work for a better Nigeria, while assuring to build on the successes of the Buhari administration if elected.
There are still challenges, not least in the area of security. One aspect that most of us and almost everywhere have been, particularly in the northern part of the country.
There will be a president of Nigeria. The president of Nigeria will demonstrate us that he has the qualities, the capabilities, the energy, the intellect
The leadership of the party, through the state chairman of the APC, Sani Haruna Daura, pledged support for Governor Kayode Fayemi during the presidential primary election later this month. In Katsina, Awal Halu, NTA News.
A peaceful and harmonious coexistence among Nigerians and Africans in general is upon itself for building a united continent. To this end, Cardinal Onaikan Foundation for Peace is championing unity amongst people of different faith through interdialogue and mediation. Omenka Amarachuku reports.
Over the years, issues of peace and national coexistence among citizens of different countries has been of great concern to various stakeholders of peace-building initiatives. Cardinal Onaikan Foundation for Peace is a leading peace and unity advocate in Africa, providing a platform for building and strengthening the process for peace and societal development in Nigeria and Africa at large. As part of his intervention in peace-building processes for a harmonious society in Nigeria and Africa, the foundation brought together leaders of diverse faiths to share experiences.
Our faith in God also inspires and empowers us to launch into action to do all we can for the good of our human environment.
A Jew had a son and called him Moshe. A Christian had a son and calls him Moses. A Muslim had a son and calls him Musa. These three names nomenclature refers to one person. Why then do we have to correct?
The peace builders have this to say.
But with what happened today and with the training I undertook over 1 year, I have been so equipped. I can now go home and authoritatively, like I told them, talk about peace and do peace, eat peace.
This fellowship is one of my best achievements and I'm really happy.
They make a step down training to the grassroots so that people of different faiths will come to understand that you are human.
The 2022 Cardinal Onaikan Foundation for Peace, Interreligious Dialogue and Mediation is the fourth in this series. Omenka Amarachuku, NTA News.
And next, some actions from the world of sports.
Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, has restated the commitment of the federal government towards sustaining the gains of the industry in the country. Dare was speaking in Abuja Monday while receiving the Flying Eagles, who conquered Raffle Zone B Under-20 tournament in Miami, and Team Nigeria to the just concluded Maiden West African Scrabble Championship in Accra, where they won 3 trophies and 9 out of 10 prizes.
I want to welcome you back to Nigeria, Abuja FCT, on behalf of Mr. President, President Muhammadu Buhari, and on behalf of all sport-loving Nigerians, to say thank you and congratulations.
In the meantime, hostilities commenced in the 2022 National Handball League Phase 1 Monday at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, with Benue Buffaloes defeating Seasider Boys 29-22 goals. Canopillars won their game against Police Machine by 29 goals to 15, while Confident Stars beat Toje Marine Academy 37-27 in the men's category. In the women's category, Rima Queens beat Benue Queens 31-29, and Safety Babes saw off Seasider Babes 37-26. Tuesday, Day 2 will see Toje Marine Academy take on Police Machine. Benue Buffaloes versus Niger United and Lagos Seasiders face Rima Strikers in the men's competition. Plateau Peacocks will be up against Rima Queens, Defender Babes meet Imo Grasshoppers, and Edo Dynamos file out against Seasider Babes in the women's fixtures.
We will still dominate. The preparation is good, and by the grace of God, we will take it.
In tennis, former world number 1 Naomi Osaka became the latest top seed to crash out of the French Open in the first round after being beaten 7-5, 6-4 by 27th seed Amanda Anisimova. With sports update, Cynthia Ogun, NTA News.
In sports update ends nationwide today. To remember to always take action against rape and rapists. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Thank you so much for your time.